guess I will open the Office of the Select Board meeting for Monday, July 13th, 5:30 p.m. It is currently 5:33. We are open. Before proceeding, we have an announcement of open meeting recordings. More than happy to entertain a motion to waive the reading of that if everyone else is comfortable. If not, I have no problem reading it.
Motion to move not to read the attachment.
Whiteman seconds.
All right, do we have any discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call vote on the motion.
Clock eye.
Nichols eye.
Whiteman aye.
Stillings eye.
Recity aye. So we have a motion to waive the reading of the open meeting recordings information. Passes unanimously. Up on next on the agenda, we have minutes, Treasury warrant, payroll. We have the approval of Treasury warrant 28 for fiscal year 2020 first on the agenda. Happy to entertain a motion for the approval of that warrant.
Just a note on that too, Tamika, there's an error in the my end. There's an error in the agenda on the date of the minutes that we need to approve. Tamika, can you what is the date that we need for the minutes that were sent out?
I believe there's two sets. I believe one of them was from June 15th and the other was from this past Thursday, July 9th.
Okay, if there's a discrepancy there, first off, let's get a second on the motion for approval of Treasury warrant 28 before we open for discussion.
Whiteman second.
Thank you, Leah.
I would recommend moving to push those to the next meeting.
That is what I was going to suggest. So we can take that motion to move those after we vote on the motion for the approval of the Treasury warrant. So we have a motion with a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, move for a roll call vote on the motion to approve Treasury warrant 28 for fiscal year 2020.
Nichols
Clock
eye.
eye.
Stillings eye.
Whiteman aye.
Recity aye. The motion for the approval of the Treasury warrant carries unanimous vote. Next on the agenda, approval of Treasury warrant 1 for fiscal year 21. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion with a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move for to vote on the approval of Treasury warrant number 1 for fiscal year 2021. Do a roll call vote.
Clock eye.
Nichols eye.
Stillings eye.
Whiteman aye.
Recity aye. Motion carries unanimous. Lastly, on the agenda, we have approval of payroll. Entertain a motion.
Make a
Motion
motion.
to pay him.
Second.
We have a motion with a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will take a roll call vote for the approval of payroll.
Clock eye.
Stillings eye.
Whiteman aye.
Recity aye. Motion carries, unanimous vote. Lastly, we have minutes of the May 18th meeting. This is a misprint for the date. We have 2 sets of meetings, neither are reflected here. Entertain a motion to push these off to the next meeting so we can get the date right.
So
Make a
moved.
motion to delay to the next meeting. Can I make a note of an error on July 9th? I made the motion to for Leah to be clerk. It has Skip in there.
Okay, was that a motion to amend the minutes?
To amend and to review for approval at the next select meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second. Stillings
Okay.
second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote to push the minutes off to the next meeting for approval with Lyndon's revision. Tamika, did you get that?
I think so. Lyndon, did you say that it was, the misprint was that you made the motion to nominate Leah as clerk, not Skip, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I will make that amendment for next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, great. So we'll have a roll call vote.
Nichols eye.
Whiteman,
Clark,
I.
Owens, aye.
Skip, did you vote?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he said
did.
aye.
Okay, apologies. We have a Resity aye. Motion carries, unanimous vote. We move on to public comment. Mike, do we have any members of the public that have emailed in or sent you any correspondence for public comment this evening?
We do not currently have any in the chat option on the bottom at this time, nor have we received any emails. So unless someone here wants to raise their hand and be heard, or just make known that they want to be heard, we don't have any in the written options.
Any members of the public that are here that wish to participate in public comment, please raise your hand via Zoom, or you can email the Rutland public comment at gmail.com.
Mitch, if I may, it's Tamika. I just wanted to point out that Lyndon's screen still says Wayne Walker on it. So I thought maybe if Mike could fix that.
I'm on it.
It does. Thank you, Tamika. That came up last meeting as well. I know that that's something that we have to correct on the laptop there.
No name, no blame.
Okay, so hearing no public comment, I'm going to move on to the next portion of the agenda. We currently have a petition that has been filed by Sylvia Rosvason for the town to waive Chapter 61A right of first refusal on sale Lot 1, 27 Glenwood Place, Rutland. I'm going to recuse myself for this vote and hand the chair for this over to Skip.
So we have a petition to release some 61A property. Has this all been funneled through the right people? Has been notified for this property?
So all of the appropriate committees and commissions have been notified of it. We have not received final report from them yet.
How long has this been going on? Any idea?
3 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Hi folks, this is Sylvia Rosbasan. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot out.
I didn't hear
This
that.
is, sorry, this is Leah, through the chair, if I may.
Oh,
What was that?
I think Sylvia said she was on if she had questions. This is Leah. I have a question through the chair, I guess.
sure, go right ahead, Leah.
Skip, I was just wondering if we need to take action on this tonight, given that we haven't heard back from the other boards and commissions that pertain to it. I assume it's AgCom and probably CONCOM. I'm not sure who else gets it.
If you look on the cover sheet of the correspondence that we received that's in your drives, which I am pulling up, it's the planning board, the assessors, CONCOM, and the selectmen for the town of Rutland, as well as the commissioner of DCR in Boston. So the ones that we would need to hear from are the assessors, CONCOM, and planning.
If I may, assessor has already provided approvals. CONCOM already provided approval last week. We're just waiting for the DEP plan. ANRs have been already approved, so we are really waiting just for remaining approvals, which is the select board. I do have all information. If I can share my screen with you. I can show you which part of the 61 we are planning to remove. It's probably only 20% of the land that was originally under 61. We are looking for an approval.
Well, you submitted this 2 weeks ago. I think we have something like 60 days to make an answer. Or we definitely don't have answers back from everybody yet.
Well, so definitely, that makes sense. Actually, I haven't submitted this 2 weeks ago. I have submitted a longer time ago. ANRs have been approved already back in, I believe, May or so. But however, I'm not really sure if the town is looking to purchase a lot plan, right? Because this is a house lot. So the town usually doesn't buy in house lots, right? If the town is looking to purchase 61A properties, they usually purchase 20 plus acres, right? This is only a 1.5 acres. for a house lot. So I'm not really sure if this is something that town will be looking for to purchase. Town would not be benefiting from owing anything like that. So I would be really kind if you can provide your approval today, because we have buyers lined up and we are waiting for the remaining of your approvals. This is going on for almost 6 months right now. Because of COVID, everything has been postponed. So I'm hoping if you guys can approve it today so we can move on.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
This is Peter Crane, Chair of Conservation Commission. Last meeting, we only discussed your notice of intent. We did not discuss 61A at all.
That's correct, because you don't have to. 61A is being discussed with the DEP.
It's still supposed to go through the review of each of the boards the town administrators mentioned. Because we have the ability to, I'm not saying we're going to, I'm just saying that we have the ability to put in potentially put in a competing bid. And that's why each of the town boards has that right of first refusal. It's the town as a whole, and it's all the boards on behalf of the town.
I definitely understand that. So I would, I'm sending this message out to you guys to ask you, why do you really need a house lot? I'm fine. You can drag this process for another 3, 6, 5 months. That's fine with me. I'm just wondering, it's a house lot, it's 1.5 acres, and only 20% of that property was under 61A. So you can drag this process as long as you want. We can have more meetings about this, but I would be really, I'm hoping that you can provide approval today so we can move on.
Well, what's the pleasure of the board? I mean, there is procedures we're supposed to follow, and I suppose we have the right to skip over some of them, but I personally don't think we should.
It's Leah. Skip, if I may, through you.
Yes, please.
I am leaning towards at least giving our fellow boards and commissions time to look at this also. We have a note in front of us, a memo dated June 25th. This is the first I've heard of it. So June 25th was not 6 months ago. So I am not looking to drag this out by any means, but I think that we need to do due diligence and follow the procedures that we try to have in place for 61A that comes up like this.
Sure. So let's make this. So A&Rs were approved back in May, right? And one of these lots that is right now on the agenda for today has been approved in May. So only 20% of that land was under 61A. Unfortunately, what's happening with 61A, the whole property has a lien against, right? So not able to transfer this property to the new buyer, to the new owner because of the 61A.
Skip, just so you know, Tim's
Well,
waving.
Tim Nowell, I've got somebody else wants to speak. Tim Nowell.
Yes.
Introduce yourself, please.
It's Tim Narwhal. I'm on the planning board, and I guess I wanted to put through that, and I think it was said already, I think Skip said this, there's a procedure. I think we should adhere to the procedure. That's what I'd like to get through. So the planning board has time to look it over, and to what Peter had said, if we don't want it, we need to make a recommendation. And that typically, the way the town's worked on any other 61A that's come through in my tenure, we've made the recommendation to the select board, and then they've gone through with it. So there's a procedure. I know in other properties and other things we've done that. So I guess from my perspective as a planning board member, I'd like to see the procedure here too.
All right. Can someone provide the information? What is the procedure and the timelines? So we all agree to what it's going to look like for next going forward.
Well, the timeline is like 60 days, and all boards and commissions must respond by that time. So I think, in my opinion, I'm not talking about the rest of the board, But I think this should follow the procedures and go out to all the boards and then come back to us whether they're interested in purchasing or not. What does the rest of the board feel?
Who is going to be collecting those approvals or responses from all the boards that we have submitted the paperwork to?
I don't have that in front of me.
If I may, it's Leah Skip, if I may.
Yep.
In the past, we just recently did one back, I don't remember, right before COVID, I think. And the board collected the feedback from the additional boards and commissions and committees, and then we made the final decision based on those recommendations. I think I agree. I feel like we have the procedures in place and we try very hard to follow those. I personally don't want to see it go out for 60 days. That's what the town has, 60 days based off the date of this notice, I think, the letter. But I think that this is the first time we as a board have seen it, and it sounds like the other boards and commissions haven't seen it. And I don't think AgCom is on this. Generally, AgCom is involved in 61A also. So that's my take. Thank you.
I mean, the longest time would be 60 days. They could get us back in 10 days, and we could have an answer for her.
Right.
It all depends on the boards. And they will send a written notice to the select board saying they're interested or not. So I think we should wait on this and get it out to all the boards and then get back to Sylvia.
So this is Leah. If I may, Skip, I'll make a motion that we hold this and ask to follow up with the boards and commissions. I don't know if we can ask to have AgCom weigh in also. I feel pretty strongly that given that it's a 61A property or partial property, that we should have AgCom's feedback also.
Oh yeah, that's one of our boards. They have to respond. They should respond.
On the list that I see that it went to was us, Planning Board, Board of Assessors, Conservation Commission, and then the Commissioner of the Department of Conservation and Recreation at the state level. I don't see AgCom. I just would like to have AgCom added in.
Oh,
Planning Board mentioned in there too?
it should be in there.
AgCom, it's not required. It was only submitted to required parties.
All right. And second, Leah's motion, Stillings.
All those in favor?
Nichols, aye.
Stillings,
Whiteman, aye. Whiteman, aye.
Stillings is aye.
So as soon as we have an answer for you, Sylvia, we'll get back to you.
Awesome, that's great. So maybe put this on the agenda in 2 weeks again.
Yeah, we can do that.
Awesome, that's great.
But I'm not going to say we'll have an answer for you. It all depends on our boards.
That's fine. That's fine. At least we don't lose track of this, because as I say, it's only 1.5 acres. It's a house lot, so it will be really helpful if we can finish the process.
Mike and Skip, if I may, can you make sure that this letter gets sent over to AgCom also, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
That will happen. AgCom will get it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to turn this back to our Chairman, Mitch Ricchetti, for.
Great. Thank you, Skip. All right. So next on the agenda, we have the town administrator update. First update item is the COVID-19 pandemic response. Mike.
The town has, as I mentioned briefly last time, we are back open to the public in our town buildings now. All of the necessary safety procedures have been put in place, so we are fully open to the public in our town hall annex, public safety, and DPW buildings. The library and the community center will continue to remain closed for this time until we receive further guidance from the Commonwealth as to when we can reopen and under what regulations. We have had a period of time where we have not had any new COVID cases for almost a month, and it's good to see that trend go that way, and we are continuing to evaluate that as that goes forward.
Okay, great. Thank you. Go ahead.
Mitch, just as a point of order for you as the chair, just as an update rather, if you look later on in the agenda, the Number 005 and number 006, acceptance of the town administrator resignation and interdepartmental transfers. That 005, the action on that was taken on Thursday, and 006, we have none to present this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Next on the agenda, we have a town administrator transition update line item. Mike, is that something you also had something under for your update?
No, that was put in prior to the executive session being added. So I would recommend that we discuss that after the executive session. I would also recommend taking the executive session out of order, going through the last 3 items of business and then ending with that due to the Zoom parameters with executive session.
So you would, just to recap, you would recommend taking new business and other business prior to executive session?
Correct.
Adjourning and then going into executive session so we do not have to reopen this meeting?
Correct.
And okay, as long as
and then all items that were conducted in the executive session portion of the meeting would just have to be announced as the first thing the next time the board has a regular or special meeting to confirm.
Okay. So with that being said, do we need a motion to take items out of order to push them in front of the executive session?
No, you can just do that so long as you do not receive objection from fellow board members.
So if everyone's okay with it, we'll just move on with the agenda and then we will end the meeting with executive session. So it's hearing no discussion. I'll move on to the next item of old business, which would be 004 reappointment reminder.
This is just a reminder to our boards and commission members. Sorry about that, Mitch. I didn't realize. I got to turn my head to see you on the screen over there. Laura Paradise, my executive assistant, will be reaching out again to all of the chairs of the different boards and commissions, notifying them of exactly who is up for reappointment in their boards and if there are any vacancies. The town's policies in the past have been to collect letters of recommendation from the chairs of each board and commission for those reappointments or regular appointments if the position is currently vacant. We should have something for you for the next board's agenda. One of the things that did get brought up in the finance committee meeting that happened previously before this, that was a change to what was said at a previous meeting, is our town accountant, Dan Haynes, has decided to stay on with the town for another year, knowing that there was going to be a transition in the town administrator position. He did not also want to have another transition in the next highest ranking financial official for the town. So Dan will also be staying on for another year, hoping to train someone to take over soon. So those are the 2 updates on that.
If you could please pass on our thanks to Dan. It's extremely helpful, particularly in this environment, for him to make that offer. So.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, great. So just as a reminder to recap what Mike said, we have board and committee openings. We have a lot of important things that we have to make decisions on over the next year in the town. So we love anyone that's interested, obviously, to be able to express some interest. There's a lot of good work to do. So thank you, Mike. Under old business, we have the acceptance of the town administrator resignation. Mike, I think we had handled that last meeting. Is this just a holdover from the prior agenda?
Yep. Yeah, this agenda was posted prior to when we had the last meeting, so it had to be posted before any of the other items that were on the agenda for the meeting that we did on Thursday were up.
Okay. And the interdepartmental transfers, I think you had mentioned this was also a holdover. That's not something that's applicable tonight. All right, so old business is taken care of. We will move on to new business, which would be 007, ratification of votes taken at June 27th, the 2020 emergency meeting, and 008, the ratification of votes taken at July 9th, 2020 meeting. It's my understanding there were some issues with the posting, and we just have to reconfirm that votes were taken. So we're not re-adjudicating votes. It's my understanding, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are just confirming that the board met, that votes were taken. Items that we voted on, if you recall, payroll, obviously, the one-day liquor licenses, the board reorg. So we just need to ratify those votes. So at this point,
correct. The ratification process is just required under the open meeting law whenever someone raises a question on a posting. So us doing this just allows us to cover all our bases with those, and then the full approval of the meeting happens in the acceptance of the minutes of that meeting. This is just saying, yes, we met at that time and took these votes.
Correct. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion. We can either do an individual meeting or as a group. I think actually we would have to do individual because two of the board members were not on the board on the June 27th meeting. So we'll have to just
Yes, they were.
use the old board. Right?
Sorry, if I may, Mitch, through the chair, it's Leah.
Sure.
I'll make a motion. So for the June 27th meeting, Lyndon was on, but Jeff wasn't. I had just sent the minutes to Laura and Mike earlier this morning. So Jeff wasn't there, but Lyndon was on already. So I'll make a motion to ratify the votes taken at the June 27th, 2020 emergency meeting.
Okay, you have a second. All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Obviously, Jeff, you weren't there, so. Stay.
Whitman, aye.
Both aye.
Clark abstain.
Okay, so we have 2 abstentions. Motion carries 3 yeas.
Mitch, I apologize. I missed who seconded that vote.
Lyndon had seconded it. That's okay. So next on the agenda, we have the ratification of the votes taken at the July 9th meeting, which was the meeting we had last Thursday.
It's Leah. I'll make a motion that we ratify the votes taken at the July 9th, 2020 meeting.
Stillings can second.
Okay, I have a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote.
Stillings, aye.
Clark, aye.
Whitman, aye.
First City, aye. Motion carries, unanimous vote. Mike, do we have any correspondence or other business before the board?
None on the agenda at this time, no. So what the next step would have to be done is someone would have to read reason number 2 under executive session and then end it with ending in adjournment rather than returning for the purpose of adjournment. So just read that sentence there with the phrase at the end, ending in adjournment.
It's Leah. I'll make a motion that our regular board meeting adjourn and we enter into executive session for reason number 2 to discuss strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, only to adjourn from that meeting.
Do we have a second for discussion?
Second for discussion.
Actually, Mike, I have a question.
Yes.
If I may, because we're going to be talking about some things. Are we sure we want to totally adjourn from this meeting if we have any announcements or anything to make to the public regarding the discussion?
The board certainly has the right to change the ending in adjournment phrase in that sentence to returning to open session solely for adjournment. Where that issue comes from is the fact that we're meeting via virtual means. So we actually have to close out this Zoom completely and go into a separate executive session Zoom. So that's where it does get hard there, and where the open meeting law provisions just say at the next open meeting of the board, every vote taken at that has to be announced.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Do you have any more discussion?
Point of order. Point of order.
Yeah.
May I ask what the point is?
Yes, you may ask, and I'll tell you. It's Louis J. Carnicchioli, 18 Blueberry Lane, here in the great town of Rutland. Is there going to be a public session where we citizens can speak? I have 2 things I'd like to talk about.
Lou, the public comment period was at the beginning of the meeting. At 5, which began at 5:30. We're about to enter into an executive session.
Whoa. It tells me, when I looked up, it said the meetings were at 6 o'clock. When I went on the website, it said selectmen's meetings at 6. When did it get changed to 5:30?
Mike, I believe this was.
When did it get changed to 5:30?
Mr. Carnicchioli, when this was posted last week, it was posted for 5:30, according to the top of the agenda.
Oh, boy. So I go online, I go to the website, I click on Board of Selectmen, 6 p.m. meetings. I wait till 6 p.m., and now I'm told I missed the deadline. Well, let me ask you this question. When you come out of executive session, will there be another public session?
Sorry.
I'm out of order? I'm out of order. Okay, I'm out of order.
Mr. Kanaki.
I have a point of information. I think that is allowed under Robert's Rules of Order, that you can ask for clarification. So how can I be out of order if I'm asking for clarification?
Mr. Cannacchioli, we have a motion with a second on the floor. I'll move to bring the motion to vote.
Will there be another opportunity for public input? Ooh, shut me right down. Okay.
No, sir.
All righty. Thank you very much.
If the members choose to vote down going into executive session, I will be more than happy to, if the board is amenable to it, to allow for.
And who's this speaking now, by the way? I can't see. I don't have a Zoom. I'm on a phone. Whose voice am I listening to?
This is the chair, Mitch Rossetti.
And who's the chair now?
That is me. I am speaking to you right now, Mr. Cannacchioli.
I know, but I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name.
Mitch Rossetti.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll wait to hear what the vote is.
We have a motion with a second. Take a roll call vote if there's no other discussion.
Is this for executive session, or is this to allow Mr. Cannacchioli to speak?
This would be to go into executive session, which would thereby prohibit Mr. Cannacchioli's ability to speak until public comment period at the next meeting.
Yeah, if I may, also through the chair, I saw 6 o'clock as well. This
Okay,
is why
understood.
I
So we have a
attended
motion.
at 6
Mr. Moore.
o'clock. Now it's 2 o'clock.
Mr. Moore, we have a motion with a
Yes.
second, and we're moving to vote.
Okay.
Can I have a roll call vote,
Okay.
please?
Clock eye.
Stillings, aye.
Whitman, no.
Nichols, yay.
Rossetti, nay. Apologies to the folks that thought the meeting was at 6. We have voted to move into executive session, which will end.
So there'll be no public comments after executive session. That's a simple question.
It is my understanding, the way the motion was made, Mr. Cannacchioli, the meeting will be adjourned at the conclusion of.
Okay. So what time will it be next Monday? 6 or 5:30?
I believe we will follow a regular schedule for 6 o'clock.
5:30. Okay, because I want to be heard on these two issues. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good luck.
Thank you. We are adjourned, and we are going to be going into executive session. So please leave and then follow the link that Mike had sent for executive session. Thank you.